Jesus Christ.
I fucking do the thing. Not the wizard fingers.
Guess it's time, motherfucker! Fireball!
Just fucking cry.
It's fine.
I'm
We'll be fine. Okay. 3,
1 second.
1.
The DM has lost his dice again.
You gotta do the voice. Do the goblin voice.
Not the goblin voice.
Where the fuck did I put him?
That's
That's a goblin voice.
that's just Cole.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Dungeons and Destinies. Aaron, where is your camera? There we go. Yay, beautiful woman. Before I continue, I'd like to ask all of my players to say hi.
Hi. Okay. Wow.
Alright, I have a couple disclaimers before we begin. Firstly, all the music and ambience you're going to hear in tonight's episode was made by the wonderful Michael Gelfi. Check him out on YouTube and Spotify, along with his partner Philip Melvin. That's Michaelghelfi. Check them out, they are great composers. Fantastic, do some epic stuff. Next, all the character art you see on screen is made by the wonderful Alice, the player for Magnus. Chances are you're checking out this from either of her channels, Twitch or YouTube, so make sure to give those a follow because she's really good and hilarious, and yeah, do that. Also, all the maps and tables you see on screen are made by me using free assets such as FA Mapmaking. FA Mapmaking stands for Forgotten Adventures. They're great, they have a ton of free assets for making tabletop roleplay maps, so check them out and pay them some money. You don't have to, but you know, you can buy full pre-made battle maps or like whatever. We're not sponsored by any of these people, it's just they're really good at what they do, so at the beginning of every...
Yet. We're not sponsored yet.
I don't think we'll ever be sponsored by these people.
It would be.
I just think that they're really good at what they do, so I want to give them a shout out at the beginning of all the sessions we do. Lastly, we have a TikTok. Check out Dungeon and Destinies. That's DUNGEONANDESTINIES. And give us a follow. Now, would anyone else like to say anything before we begin tonight's episode?
Bo looks a lot more alive on this stream than he actually is.
Oh,
Should I put like
Christ.
quick X over his eyes?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I guess just a little.
Blow him up a little bit.
Take
ruffle
care
him.
of your. Take care of your guys' mental health.
Put him in a
during
jar,
this
shake him real
episode,
much.
because this is gonna be a sad one, probably.
Alright, so... Welcome back to the spirit-walking world of Aracretia. Last we left off, our party had finally come to meet with the Emberhide estate, and in doing so, they met one... Gosh, was it Incy? Did you meet Incy?
I think it was Incy.
I believe it was Incy. If I'm mistaken, apologies.
You're not, because this is the first and only time I've ever taken a note. You met Incy.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. And in doing so, she said basically, hey, I may be the heiress, but the speaker under the table, Garth, he's not back yet, so let's go wait for him. In the meantime, Lothric and Bo were in the apothecary, the Demon's Ladle apothecary, and Lothric was having a one-on-one discussion with the apothecary there, the woman, who, this very flat, flowy, very almost otherworldly person, and was given a gift from his god, Ymir, the god of strength. Basically a glance forward into time of what would happen if he said the things he would say, and how it would go if he did that. Basically, almost like a, hey, try to avoid getting into any altercation with this woman, so as to avoid your death, basically. Lothric, however, still did not manage to do that, and a combat ensued wherein Bo and Lothric fought against her and some creatures that she summoned. In the meantime, the whole conversation with the Emberheads was going down. As we were doing that combat, we flashed back to a discussion between Alhart Ruesh, Tenaris Starathian, and Magnus Stantieri?
Centauri.
Santori. Sorry, I can never remember your last name.
L.
And they were chatting while that combat was happening. In the combat, Bo and Lothric found that this character, this person, was much more than they wanted to ask for. And while they were very close to killing her, she did manage to collapse the building on them, wherein it knocked Bo unconscious and the rubble crushed him to death. Upon waking up, Lothric shouted for Bo, basically saying like, "Hey, where are you?" And unfortunately, he didn't make it to Bo in time to heal him, to prevent him from crossing over. Lothric cried to the heavens for some grace, finding that while they were basically subsumed by this building, even though the building itself is no longer there, the sky was still dark. And that is where we left off. So, I don't have something that I wanted to get, so my mistake. But we're going to start tonight's session with Bo. Give me just a moment, please. In your final moments, Bo, your mind spiraled out of control. The pressure and anxiety and the adrenaline of battle and combat and the confusion of everything happening tore your mind apart as the pressure on your body from the rubble fades to a comfortable numbness. Eventually it goes black before you are met with the sounds of nature. And then I got it here. If it'll load, oh my god. Sorry, these things have stopped working for me recently.
Okay.
Bo, as you come to your senses, you feel heat on your back. The sweltering Solili heat hits you like a warm embrace as you look over a field. Giant boar dot the landscape, and you realize you're on your pa's farm. Overlooking it, you hear, "A hammer strike too heavy that time, Bo." Your father's voice resonates out, like a soft breeze through the air, strong but gentle, all the same. You turn to your left and you see him.
Paul?
Well, are you gonna answer my question?
Oh. Oh. Dad! And he immediately just runs over and hugs him.
Your father gives you what you know as his hug, where he wouldn't so much as hug you as try with all of his might to crush you as hard as possible in his stone-like grip.
Oh.
It's been a
And
while.
I hold him by his shoulders and I just say, Dad. I failed.
Failed.
And he turns around, kind of just looks where he is and kind of tries to process the shock. She's still with them.
I see. Your father looks at you with his gray eyes. The dwarf looking at you and you looking back at him, you watch as he gets a sense of understanding over his face. You got a big choice ahead of you, like I and everyone else does and has. He ponders for a second before saying, "Take a walk with me, son."
Of course, Pa, anything.
And you two begin walking. As you begin walking, he says, "It's been a long time.
Yeah.
What? Tell me about it. Where have you been?"
Well, first I was in here. I left and I drifted for a long time, and I ended up in Never Sands. Before that, I had a bad night. I got a curse. Quite a bad one. I met some people and I did some adventuring and I met some of my best friends. And I met another lady and found out that I've been a daddy this whole time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a lot. Trying to help people the best I can and remember the lessons you taught me, even though I was a stubborn one, to be sure.
Well, in all that time, did you do a good job?
I haven't really been able to figure that out. That's why I've been back here. That's why I've been back home. I saw you. And I've just been trying to live up to you and who I used to be.
So your father stops walking for a moment, and you see that you've made a lot of progress, much more than you thought you had. Perhaps you'd gone more into detail than you wanted to or thought you had during the story, but looking around you, you are now surrounded by what would have been the entrance to the field that your father kept. He turns to you and runs a hand through his finger, or a hand through his hair. And live up to me. Boy, you would have done that by the time you were 13. And we're going to go over to Lothric. Lothric, give me a moment, I have to gotta press this button, and then go to press that button, and go to this one, and press, I gotta press, which one is it, 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 it's none of these, okay. Lothric, you are standing amidst a pile of rubble in not complete darkness, but pretty dark area. And you are kneeling over the corpse of your friend, having just cried to your god to basically save him, giving as much of your energy to the body as you possibly could have. Sitting there exhausted from the fight and from pouring that much energy, what are you thinking right now?
I am thinking that it's all my fault. I'm having like flashbacks to the day that I lost my friends for the first time, thinking that memory, and it's just a repeating cycle.
As you're in that cycle, Lothric, why don't you give me a perception check, please?
I got a 9.
You got a 9. So, deep in your own mind, you barely notice the shifting of rubble ahead of you. This and you look up, breaking out of your own prison, basically, as a red three-clawed hand. And you watch as the creature that the woman had summoned begins to crawl out of the rubble. Very damaged, but still in good shape.
Is it stuck, or is it like
It's
freeing itself?
digging itself out currently.
I don't like that. Is my weapon anywhere nearby?
You don't have your sword with you, no.
And I don't have like any of my daggers or nothing like that?
You probably have at least a dagger on you, yeah.
And how hurt did you say this creature was?
From the looks of it, with your perception roll, it looks hurt, but still in pretty decent shape.
Okay, can I attempt to look for another way out?
Roll me a perception check, and I'm going to roll something for the creature. Okay. So it... as it begins to dig itself out a bit more.
Okay. I got a 19.
A 19. Looking around you, Lothric, getting up, looking over the rubble that surrounds you, the stone and the wood and the tile and the building that you were in, upon the border of all of that is darkness. Not like black, not like magical darkness, but this almost gray void.
I guess I'll grab my dagger and go and attempt to stab this thing in the neck.
Okay. Grabbing your dagger, are you going to try to do it stealthily or like loud?
I'm gonna be. I can't be stealthily with this one.
Okay. So, climbing over rubble with your dagger in hand, you get close to this creature and you see that its head is like kind of buried in the rubble itself. The only neck part that you would be able to get to is probably the back where the spine is, as the two claws begin to like push more rubble out of the way. And we're gonna roll for him.
I would like to go ahead and attack that creature.
Roll to hit, please.
Okay. Do I tell you about, like, I want to divine smite this thing?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I got a dirty 18 on the hit.
18 hits it. Please roll damage and then tell me how much radiant damage you do with Divine Smite.
Is this thing like an aberration fiend?
You can tell it's fiendish in nature.
Cool. Okay, now I just gotta add that, sorry. And it's gonna be at second level.
So just tell me the base damage you did, and then the radiant damage you did.
7 for base damage. And then... Where's the D8? Sorry. Um... 18 radiant damage.
18 radiant damage. So you take your dagger and straight into it, and with that, because that counts as an instant crit because it's basically knocked down, it stops moving entirely. And sitting there, your dagger plunged into this creature. Your breath kind of... And that's when you notice the second one, as it... As its full body pops out from under the rubble, it looks fine. It looks like it didn't take any damage. And for a moment, the thought of Bo flashes through your head, and you get ready to fight again, but you watch as this flash of blue kind of... And within the blink of an eye, you watch as the frog creature that was chained to the wall bites into this thing's neck and tears its head off and begins to eat it.
I'm just gonna step back in shock, trying to process this whole thing.
So as it... you watch as this thick, not purple, but not like blue blood begins to flow down its face, and it turns to you. What do you do?
I'm gonna ask it, why did it save me just now?
Okay. We're gonna go to Whispers really quick.
Deuces!
Oh, I have so many thoughts.
So, Author. What's going on my camera for you? Author, as you say that, watch as the frog creature takes another bite out of the red thing, chokes it down before you hear in your head, what are you willing to do?
Can you translate that?
He asks, what are you willing to do?
Anything.
Oh no!
Cool. You watch as the giant, well, not giant, but larger than you, creature, frog-like, takes a step forward and another step forward towards you. It takes its hand, now dripping with the blood of the other creature, and it extends it to you.
I go ahead and take the hand.
We're going to switch over to
No.
Daenerys
You
and
motherfucker. Hang on. No. Give us like 2 seconds. I need. No. Give me a fucking second, bro. Okay.
That bad, huh?
Okay.
Oh, God, I love this game.
No.
Uh-huh.
Magnus and Daenerys, they're sitting there chatting. They don't know what the fuck is going on with this bullshit.
Enjoy your nobility talk, guys.
No.
So,
No.
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 Magnus and Daenerys, you both currently sit at a really big table with beautifully adorned cutlery, glasses, and a massive chandelier overhanging you. To your right side is a massive array of glass panes that look out upon the 22 or so acres of the Emberhide estate and their land. Looking out over this, you do see that there's a bit of a drop-off from where the estate is built, maybe 10 or so feet, and you get to see over the large field of different imported creatures and animals and plants from around the Empire. And maybe even beyond. Akin with that, you do see more slaves. Looking out over this field, you see about 20 in total. Each of them tending the grounds or doing some other menial task, maybe spreading soil or digging a trench or something. General upkeep. As Incy sits across from you, she says, "So, what are the floating isles like? Floating, I presume, but..."
Well, of course, they are quite beautiful by the standards of the Aarakocra, of course. There are many different royal houses that reside there. The leading house being the Arathians. And my family is the Dorathians are closely following behind.
Wow, that's fascinating. Do you think that, like, all of Solili would be within your taste as an Aarakocran?
What exactly do you mean by that question?
Like, does it match up with the Floating Isles in terms of, like, how it looks or feels or how the people are?
Not necessarily. I mean, islands in the sky are quite different than the islands on the ground. And the people in those floating isles are generally more kind, I would say.
Well, you got any neat creatures out there, or?
Oh, of course, we have so many. And she goes like on this tangent of how many flying creatures there are. Well, there are wings on all of our creatures. So there's like flying lions, flying beavers, flying.
So she's like, "Wow, that's a lot." Do they sell those creatures? Is there any way that we could get our hands on one? Because I'm sure that Garth would love to have one.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm sure if I talk to the people at home, we could arrange something.
Very well. I'll let him know when he gets back. And you, Magnus, where are you from?
Fuck. What is the main? Not Ashmore, but like not the continent, but like the land that it's
Isn't it Astleboro?
Astleboro.
Astleboro. The whole area would be Ashmore, and all Fire Genasi just refer to it as Ashmore.
Okay. I'm from out of Astleboro, Ashmore specifically, but haven't been back home in a while, so just kind of out and about.
I understand that. We usually take yearly trips to Ashmore, but that stopped when Garth got arrested for public indecency. So,
Ah, I see. Well, I mean, I suppose who hasn't had a night like that or two, but shame.
yeah. Speaking of Garth, by the way, when he gets here, just to let you guys know, don't bring up anything to do with the table or like decisions, and don't talk about his feet.
Okay.
Is there a reason?
My brother's a bit of a loose cannon, kind of itchy.
Fire Genasi trademark. I wouldn't say that
You
fully.
you just have to meet him.
Right. Then how do you propose we address our discussions for the Akala? May I ask?
Delicately, phrase it more towards how you could help him at the Akala, and he'll be able to listen.
All right.
Man, I gotta pull something up. Oh god.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you wish for us to speak in his wake then?
Huh? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Do you wish for us to speak in his wake?
I'm sorry. I'm not sure what that really means.
Should we let him lead the conversation?
Oh, yeah, that's probably a good idea. Unless he starts going off track, in which case, just let him.
Okay.
All right. Well. Hopefully we'll actually be able to get to everything. Fuck, I had questions for her and I had them written down. Not that one. Not that one. So it's a lovely home you have here.
Oh, thank you. I try not to spend a lot of time in it.
I can understand that. Do you also have a love for strange creatures and the such, or?
I find them interesting, but not in any particular way, no. No. I enjoy more, see, she starts, like, biting her nail for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay. Music, music and entertainment, that kind of thing.
Swell.
Lady of the Arts.
I suppose I could do that, yeah. I wouldn't say I'm super into art just because a lot of the time I don't really understand it, but it's quite magnificent to buy a piece of art that, you know, has been made in some other part of the world, and you can look at it and kind of get the inspirations of the artist.
True.
Much agreed. Say, you have quite a lovely, like, garden, and you have a lot of workers. Where would most of your workers come from?
Oh, well, the slaves mostly come from, you know, trade, here in Solili. It's a big business. We're not in it, but Garth wants to get into it. We're more focused on the market value, at least as I know it. We don't capture the slaves, is what I mean. We oversee their tradings.
Right. Understood.
They can be, you know, prisoners of war, or people who fail to pay back debt, prisoners in general, things like that.
Understood.
And as a lady yourself, do you have many servants?
I have private guards, but not much beyond that. We have kind of like a lot of magical powers back at home, so we don't need servants to take care of our gardens.
That's understandable. Yeah, if the Empire didn't impose rules, we would be having most of our work done for us, magically, I think.
It's quite convenient.
So you said you just oversee the trade, right? And that's where most of your house income, your economy standards. Sorry, I'm tumbling over my words. Stems from.
Or you have to see which one of them runs that. 1 second. Yes. So, I personally am almost the business end of the Ember Hide House, and so I guess we just regulate the market on slaves. You know, where they come from, what they do. If they're, you know, illegally captured, we pay a fine and let them go. And occasionally we do pick the best for ourselves, if I do say so myself, but that's not really meddling in the free market.
So it stands now. What would you say the market value of the trade is?
Well, last time I checked my numbers.
Oh. He's back.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there.
You're okay, buddy. Last time I checked the numbers, it was about 120,000 gold pieces per month.
Well,
Impressive.
So roughly 1 million per month. Now that's not income. That's just total gold between hands in Solili and Anquin, Asselburl and Vasselheim.
does
It's a
this
lot of gold.
um shit? I had the question and then it my head. And
Yeah?
does this new shard trade have been impacting that at all, or?
The char trade's interesting. It seems like only the riffraff, the real rabble of Solili's been dealing with the shards, and there are no shards in like Anquin, as far as I know. Um, it's strange. It's new and out of nowhere. Um,
Yeah,
I heard a rumor that they're magical.
we've seen some here and there, so I just thought to ask. But out of curiosity, if the slave trade were to dwindle more, how would your business fare for that?
Well, luckily it's not going to anytime soon. A lot of meetings with the rest of the table and some meetings with people in higher positions have made sure that that flow of income won't end soon. But if it were to, I think we'd be fine for a good 10 or 20 years, just because we have a lot in our banks and a lot of storage. We like to, I like to make sure that our money doesn't go nowhere.
That's always rather smart. But
And
good.
I doubt an establishment as large and prestigious as yours would fall so quickly either.
No, definitely not. I mean, we do own the entire southern portion of Solili, apart from the Goblin lands, but nobody really wants those.
Would they technically fall under your ownership? Just like that kind of not regulated?
The Goblins? No, they're more of a. Well, not being from here, I can understand how. So within the Empire, there's what's called like free wilds. There's portions that have been almost walled off or ignored by the Empire simply because their land value isn't high enough to conquer and own. Those portions, like what's that place south of Astor? It's all sandy there too. There, and then there's a small bit above Anquin, a small island, and then the island surrounded by that big storm, that thing too, and then the Goblin lands.
Oh, interesting. I was always told that any amount of land was valuable to some extent.
That's true, but it's more of a, I think more of a class thing in the empire, in the Emperor's mind of like, well, that's too below me to own. If it were me, I would buy it up.
Understood. Well,
Or
undoubtedly they will develop their own cultures and societies separate from the Emperor then.
the Goblins, or just like the free land areas.
Anything in the Freeland.
I'm sure they have or will, but I can't see how, politically it wouldn't influence them on the outside. Are the floating isles very large?
Some of them are. They vary in size, of course. The main island where the Arathians live is the largest one. It has some beautiful buildings, markets, housing, and we have different houses on different islands. Whereas, like, the Cha'as, who rule over our religious, how would you say, like, they delegate which religions are within our society. They live on a certain island, and then there's like islands that are specifically for farming and for food production.
Well, that's interesting. It's like a breakdown of states, like here, but not the same. That's interesting. And Magnus, how did you find your way to be the personal guard of the lady here?
Oh, well, I'd rather find myself in often lucky circumstances.
Well, if I may,
Please. Tell it better than anyone.
in my homeland,
Roll a deception check.
deception check, both of us.
Magnus
Yeah,
rolled
both of you.
deception? Okay.
Both of you.
Let's go. No, not that one.
That's a 10.
I got a 26.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. A 10 and a 26. Alright, please continue.
In my homeland, we have a lot of air genasi. So when I came to the mainland and discovered fire genasi, I found them quite enthralling and exquisite. Just like your race is very beautiful in my eyes.
Thanks.
So when I found Magnus upon my arrival, I decided to have him as my guard.
Wow. And you arrived, what, a couple months ago?
Yes, yes. How many months has it been, Magnus?
It's been about like 4 or 5 months.
Let me check really quick.
I think it's closer to 4.
Claria. It's about 3.
Oh, okay. That feels so short.
The year is only 8 months.
Yeah. Well, I would think about the better half of 3 or so months, going on 4 maybe.
That sounds correct. Word of your arrival did shake up here on the upper level of society. It was rather interesting hearing about, another person from Arathia landing down again.
Right. So you've heard of the Isles then?
Oh yeah. Those kinds of things are all basic schooling for us. Like what the other surrounding areas are. We've never had the pleasure of interacting with one of you.
My question is, do you know what other Aarakocrans have made their way to the mainland?
Yeah, my mom met with one of them a couple of years ago. He was real bright colored.
I imagine I know who that is.
Oh, yeah, his name, he had this weird stutter, nothing like you. I was kind of afraid when we met, you would have the same kind of thing, but, I'm glad you don't.
Yes. I've heard much about him passing through this area. I find it interesting I haven't run into him myself.
Yeah, well, he up and disappeared. We were having him as a guest, and he just poof out of thin air.
Interesting.
Did
Well,
you ever
my
meet
father-
with... Oops, sorry.
You're good. My father came to the mainland once upon a moon. I'm not sure how long ago. When I was a child, of course.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I only know of the one that met with my mother. I never saw him, but I just know she described him as being real bright, and I heard his voice.
What were you going to say, Magnus?
Oh, just if they had met any other Aarakocrans such as yourself. Have you, by chance, heard what's been going on in Live Liquor as of recent, or has that not reached here yet?
I've heard of some strange, like underground place, and some people going missing. You know, higher up, nobility. But other than that, no. Is something big happening?
Well, considering the fact that we're calling an emergency a call for it, I would say so.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
But I'm glad to
It's
see it
just
hasn't really
the-
stretched as far yet. But sorry, continue.
Oh, I was just gonna say that the king of Live Liquor always seems so extra about his people and his lands. You know, he's very, I would say, dramatic.
Not the only king that's very dramatic.
Have you met other kings?
Well, of course, within my own land.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, it's just I don't understand why he of all people would be so concerned, but either way, and as she says that, we're going to go over to Rue and Greaves! Woo!
Yay! And by yay, I mean oh no! Okay, what's up? What's up? How's it going?
You two are setting out from Bo's mom's house to go and find Bo and Lothric.
You sure are.
Is there anything you would like to say to the King of Thieves?
I feel like I had something written down. I guess Bo's never really given us a full backstory on how you two know each other. He always kept a lot of stuff kind of not secret, but a little reserved. Do you have any?
Yeah, well, real funny story. How's it go? Well, so it started, no, that was a different night. It was dark, and, was it dark? No, it was dark. It was dark, and, I'm a little bit older than Bo by a couple of years, and, at that point, I had joined the Thieves Guild, and I was doing my best to take things. Or was I older than? Either way, one of those days, I was walking out my daily route, pickpocketing people, taking their fruits or whatever have you, until I saw this boy a little bit younger than me, I think, and he had drawn the attention of the guards, which I will say I was very thankful for because I could grab more things at that point. But he had drawn the attention because, oh no, wait, was it me that drew the attention? No, that can't be right. It was Bo. And he had stolen something, and I think he had stolen something, or somebody suspected him of stealing something. But it was dark, so they couldn't really see, and he got away. But I followed him, and I invited him to the Thieves Guild.
What did he steal? Or supposedly steal?
Bread, I think. It might have been an apple.
Oh, it was just food.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing big, nothing serious.
I see. It's unfortunate to know that he and so many others have been resorted to steal just for, basic necessities such as bread or an apple or...
Oh yeah,
what have
it's
you.
terrible. I mean, the economic situation back then was a little bit better than it is now in Gold Test, but terrible. We barely made enough to live, and I mean that quite literally. Most of us lived on the dirt outside. Those of us who could afford houses often had them broken into and stolen from, and those of us who were skilled enough to get through the slave wall into mid-ring, yeah.
The slave wall.
Yeah, so the walls, right? I suppose you wouldn't. I suppose not many people know this, and most people don't. The first wall, dividing Gold Test to Mid Ring, right? That's divided by a wall that, on the outside, look like boars are pushing the gondolas, right? There's three walls. So there's one outside of Gold Test where the boars use the gondolas. We're getting rid of those, and just there's one big entryway that you went into now. There's the second wall that divides Gold Test into Mid Ring, and then Mid Ring into Centrum. Well, the middle ring wall, now that we're moving boars to there, originally that wall was built so that slaves would push chains to make the gondolas go up. And there's still a lot of them in there. We call it the slave wall.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, it's awful. That's if you're designated there as a slave, you will die most of the time.
And there's nothing anyone can do about it? There's no trying to help them out? Or
If you do, and if you're caught, then you're driven into slavery yourself as a crime. If you get away with it, great, but what are you gonna do then?
I suppose so. I guess I'm just gonna kind of fall silent as we waddle our little way along.
Roll an investigation check or perception check.
We'll do perception, methinks. Oh. Damn. 10?
10. Gotcha. Alright. You guys are walking. Is there anything you would like to talk to him about? Maybe ask some people around or anything?
Yeah, actually, as we keep going, I want to, find somebody, who maybe, at least to me, looks like they know a little bit about where they're walking around. Just about the area, I guess.
There's a few people, sure.
Okay, so I'll just walk up to one of them.
Okay, you walk up to a dwarf wearing, like, black leather chaps and, like, a jacket, and he's smoking, like, a fat stogie.
Are they assless chaps?
They're assless. They're chaps, and
bummer.
he's wearing, like, leather jeans, just brown, but he has, like, a black jacket, like, a gross stained shirt, and a stogie, and his hair is, like, receding.
Great. Okay. So I'm gonna walk up and be like, excuse me, could I borrow just a moment of your time? I'm trying to find a store.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm not positive on the name, but it's an apothecary of sorts. It had the demon's spoon, the devil's utensil. I know that's not right, but it's something like that. Do you know?
I don't think there's an apothecary anywhere in the city.
That's what
Last
I've
time
been
I checked, you watch as he pulls up his pants a little bit. He kind of like stretches out. The last time I checked, there was no pot. Now I have heard of a place called oh, that's a natural one. I have heard of a place called the Demon's Wings out in southern Yorlheim that has the prettiest women you've ever seen.
No, thank you. I guess maybe a little bit of context would hurt. It's a place where my friends went. She sells potions or potion materials.
I know what an apothecary is.
Right. I guess, but it's not an apothecary. I don't know. It's here in Gold Ring. That's really all I know.
Gold ring.
Gold test? Is it gold? Go over to Greaves. Is it gold test or gold ring?
We're in mid-ring. They supposedly went to gold test.
Gold test. Okay, thank you. It's in
What are
gold
you
test.
two whispering about over there?
I'm not from here. I was just checking to make sure I
Clearly,
had.
you weird blue elf.
Right. Do you happen to know of a place in Gold Test called Demons something?
Do you got sand in your ears or something? I just said I don't.
Okay. Alright, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. Yeah. Kind of
I wonder
walking
if
away.
Demon's wings are still open. As you walk away.
Okay. That was not helpful. Greaves, do you think we could go to Gold Test? I think we might get better
Well,
results.
Gold Test is the largest portion of the city. It's the largest ring. So if we were to walk around it, it would take about a day.
True, but maybe there's somebody in Gold Test that knows the area better.
That's a
That
good
might,
point. Yeah.
that might have a better idea of what we're looking for. Because obviously I don't know how to explain it well.
That's a good idea. Normally I'd have my own people looking for it, but they're currently setting up for the you know what. So
Right, the you know what. Yeah, no, we should go to Gold Test. Which way is it?
follow me, elf. And he starts walking.
Okay.
We're gonna go over to Bo. Hey Bo. Hey buddy. How you doing, pal? Friend? What's up, man? How's the afterlife?
That's a nice forehead you got there, Cole.
Thanks, man.
Austin,
So-
lean forward and give it a smooch. Right there.
Oh my
There you
god.
go.
Bo, your father looks to you and he says, boy, you lived up to me by the time you were 13. You done good.
I don't feel like I did. I don't feel like I've done good in quite a long time until now. Even then, I couldn't help my own child.
But you were trying, right?
Of course I was. You don't bring someone into this world and just leave them to rot.
Well, Bo's adopted, so. Sorry. Well, no, but. Bo, if you died trying, that's the damnedest thing anyone could ask for. Child or no child. You remember when we were bringing gold into mid-ring to sell? And it was your first time, or your second time, I don't remember, but you got lost. I spent all day looking for you. And when I found you, you were in a bar, playing a card game.
Yes,
I would have died
in a
for
card
you.
game.
All I'm saying is, you done well, son. And he continues walking.
Where are we going?
I don't know. I just know that I have to tell you, there's a choice you have. You gotta pick sooner than later, whether to stay here with me and live until we can see other people again, or you choose not to. And I don't know where you go after that.
So you've just been here waiting?
It flies by. It does. I mean, I can tell it's been years. You've aged. No offense.
It's okay.
But-
I got the same salt and pepper as you, old man.
At the same time, I've been able to relive the best moments of my life, and the worst, whenever I wanted to, with the people that I've missed the most. And I'm glad you're here. That's for sure. But you know me, I'm not too good with words. So I figured that whoever is next would be the one to try to convince you one way or another. And that's where we're walking.
We're walking to... We're walking to her. Aren't we?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. You know, I've talked to you. I've been talking to you quite a lot.
I know I saw you. I don't. It's foggy. I don't remember what happened.
I've been told by Mama. She's been on your bed, right? What are you
Yeah.
talking about whenever you... I had a real bad night. And he takes off his glove and kind of rolls up his sleeve and he shows him all the cuts and when I got
So he
this.
grabs one of your arms and he goes, "Boy, you been cutting yourself?" Like
Oh.
angry.
Not like that, Pa. I told you I got a curse. It's a bad one.
Is it a curse that makes you cut yourself?
No. God, I missed this. No. It's a curse that... found out whenever I woke up after I had that bad night. I woke up in an alleyway right by a dumpster and I left my hand on a piece of glass and the glass turned to fire.
So it was in your mind, your basic instinct, to continue to cut yourself and light things on fire.
You kidding me, Paul? This is me we're talking about. Of course I did shit in the fire. I'm your son. That's how this works.
I mean, by the forge, Bo. I would be lying if I said that wasn't the coolest thing I've ever heard. That doesn't sound like a curse. What was wrong with it?
It hurts. A lot.
Oh,
Not like, oh yeah, I cut myself. I mean, it burns. It's nice not feeling that burn anymore, honestly. You get used to it. I feel weirdly cold, you know?
I don't. It's rather hot out here. And as he says that, you step forward and you hear, instead of from the sand below your feet, you hear a clack. And he looks out in front of you where you were walking and he says, "Well, this is your stop. I'm gonna let you two be." And all at once you turn your head and, almost like vertigo, Your entire world spins and readjusts itself. You now stand on the wall, dividing Gold Test from the rest of the inner city of Yawthorn. The 100-foot-high wall that you know and you've known for so long overlooks the arid and dry land of Solili. From the high dunes that cut off the horizon to the east, to the huge, imposing mountains that seem to divide the very sky itself to the west. In front of you stands Darcy. This time, not like before. She's wearing a plain, faded yellow dress. Her hair is done up in a ponytail, and the moment she sees you, she smiles. Hey, Bo. You feel your hands grow a little bit heavier looking at her. Your neck a little bit more stiff. It took a while to get the energy to tell you about her. Now you're here. How is she?
I go up to her and I take off my gloves and I put them in my bag. And I look at my hand where the wedding band, my wedding band, now sits. And I take her hands and I don't know, love.
So,
I know she grew up.
Sorry. Taking her hands, you see her ring on her hand. And for a moment, you're like, oh, wow, that's cool. And then you remember, you have her ring in your pocket. But please continue.
I haven't been able to get to her yet. I died trying.
Well, that's all I could ask for.
I know I kept you waiting for a while, but forgive me.
She kind of releases her hands from yours and puts her hand on your face. Oh, I was never upset. I would have given my life 13 times over to have it go exactly the same way. Every moment we spent together was amazing. And now that it's when I realized I was here, I didn't feel sad or upset. Because I knew that she was out there, and I know that you were out there. But we're not here to discuss that. I need you to tell me a little something about the story and the adventure and the journey you've been on. Tell me about those friends you told your pa about. Tell me about that fiery side of you.
Well, I met Magnus first. I thought he was the tiniest little pipsqueak I've ever seen. He was a little rude little firecracker of a bird, and he had a little toothpick for a sword. And he became one of my best friends. And I cannot thank him enough for the whipping he has given me at times. he he was my first friend, and then I met Lothric, and at first, Magnus and I thought he was as dumb as a box of rocks, and then we found out there were times where he could somehow surpass that, and then he became one of the most courageous people I've ever met. That man is as strong as a giant, and I don't think I'd be able to make it out of this if it weren't for him. Well, not this, but everything. And then we met Daenerys, and she, as grating as I thought her intelligence was at first, I've come to respect it in so many ways. The want of more knowledge and that hunger for trying to be better is amazing. And she's comforted me in the fact that I lost you and Paw and all that, and then we've met Rue, and she was assigned to be our damn babysitter. She was so quiet and sheepish, and then we like eventually broke through her walls, and she became one of the sweetest little things you've ever met. And she has an amazing sense of self. Like, even after everything that poor girl's been through, she's like my little sister. I can't stop speaking volumes about these people. They're all so powerful and fuck crazy. Every part of them reminds me of something that I didn't realize I had lost. And oh, the curse, right? Is that what you were talking about?
I mean, no, I didn't know there was a curse, but please tell me about it now.
As his hands are like on his head, like realizing she didn't mean that, he like looks at his wrist, looks back at her.
I noticed.
Okay, yeah. God, it's been so long, and he just like holds her tightly and gives her the same like almost back-breaking hug that his dad gave him. And he, like puts her down, holds her by kind of like her waist, and he. Sorry. I had a bad night. I had a bad drink. And now fire comes out of my blood.
Oh. Well, did you find the son of a bitch that did it to you?
Oh, yeah. I didn't kill him, though someone else did. You'll be happy to know it was a good friend of mine. Oh, this is so weird. This is so weird. Where are we right now?
She kind of like looks around. She's like, well, I thought we were dead, but do you mean the other
What do you
thing?
mean? Oh. Like us?
We're where you need to be.
I need to be. On top of the slave wall? Who?
No. No. I meant... I know. I already know. About Sybil, and I know about her name. I know that she's called Lorea, and I know that you met a band of people just like you. and she takes her ring off. Because I gave you. I gave you my ring, and it's back.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. He kind of takes it out of his bag.
So you're holding it in your hand, and as you grab it and you look at it compared to hers, she kind of like smiles a bit. She says, "Well, we did say till death do us part." And as she says that, give me an Arcana check with advantage, please. This pertains to Fey Fiend or Undead.
I'm sorry, what? Well, that's not good. 8.
8. I mean, the DC was 8, so you barely made it, but I can't tell you the most I wanted to tell you, because that's the base DC.
Okay,
Fuck.
do you still have your chaos die of the day?
You do have your Chaos die of the day.
Alright, I'll grab another d20. Oh, that's so much better. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Holding this ring, Bow Iron Belt, you feel a connection. For a moment, as your hand grabs the ring and holds it, you feel the pain of searing blood and the pain of your curse flash through you for a second. This ring, as you hold it, tells you this magic is connected. And that this ring, while it was a gift from her, was not meant to come with you. And you realize, as she looks at you, that you created it. You brought it with you when the dream had happened. We're gonna take a 5-minute break.
Oh, shit!
Hey gamers, what does that mean?
What?
This is not a good start. This is not a good start to this.
I hate remembering things and knowing that possibly nobody else remembers it, and I sit here and I fester.
You hate when what?
I hate when I remember things and I know things about things, and I can only sit here and fester.
Did you just...
I'll be back.
Cole?
You know?
Dude, what are you eating, buddy?
You didn't just grab that out of a pot of hot water, did you?
No, it's cold.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That's worse. Actually. That's worse. You're eating a cold brat right now. With bare hands, no bun, no condiments. Freak. That's
Zoe-
freak behavior. Are you
Zoe-
aware of this?
You've eaten worse.
I'm hungry.
Shut up.
I think I might have a heart attack.
Why? Because you're making a deal with the devil?
Yes.
Yeah, that should be.
Stop! Quit! Just leave me alone!
Just do your do.
Let me do my thing.
Do your do.
Fuck.
I hope those things go through all the way.
Hmm?
I hope the bratwurst just cooked through all the way.
Yeah, me too. you would taste it, or you'd at least see it, right? If it weren't,
It doesn't look pink.
that's probably fine. Ugh. This sucks. I'm gonna be real. I don't like this.
I'm too fucking flustered to talk to, like, royal people at the moment.
If this didn't happen, you guys would be in the dungeon right now,
Yeah, I know.
and you would have all the explanations.
Oh, wonderful.
I know, but Bo died,
I'm
so we
too-
gotta do this.
Yeah.
Too fucking flustered for this shit. We learned new
Too
things,
fucking-
and then Cole was like, alright, we're gonna go to Tanaris and Magnus, and I was like, wait, shit, hang on,
Wait.
please.
I'm excited.
I'm not. You're gonna do great
Stop.
things.
Quit. Let me do my thing.
I'm
Stop,
gonna let
like,
you do your thing.
quit.
I fear anxiety because Cole is a mischievous little bastard.
Okay.
Oh, welcome back, Cade.
Welcome back.
Is that what he said? He's like, oh, Cade!
Okay.
No, I said okay.
Like fucking
Cade walks in the
Tarzan.
room and she's like, I'm Cade.
I'm Cade.
Tyler.
I'm Cade.
Thanks for the announcement, man.
How you feeling,
I'm like a
Cade?
Pokemon.
Huh?
like, like the Pokemon opens his mouth. that's Cade using Bubble Beam.
Sorry. No, Aaron, be honest with yourself. I would be like the worst fire type ever known to man.
That's Bo.
Good thing Bubble
Why
Beam
did
isn't
you
a fire
open your
type.
mouth, dude? Why'd you go? Like, what?
I saw you
I
were
screamed.
Oh, it just didn't pick it
Oh.
up.
It did
If I
not
had
I
pick
to
up.
be a
screamed.
fire
Did
type,
not pick
I
up.
would be Typhlosion, and if I had to be a water type, I would be Mudkip.
Oh,
I like
fair.
that.
You do shit yourself.
What?
Very much.
Cool.
Zoe, also
Like the
a
final,
variant of me. A variant of me screaming is also.
The final evolved
Yeah, same.
form of Mudkip.
Same,
He's a
that's how we're
water
doing.
ground type.
It's because you shit yourself.
What is his
Fuck
name?
off.
It's
Aaron,
fine.
what is that final evolution's name?
Mudkip. Mudkip's final evolution is
Swampert?
Swampert.
Yeah, Swampert.
I love how you know I was the person to ask.
Well, you and I are Pokemon people. I don't know what you want.
The
Zoe's
water
2 Gen
type
5. You and
has-
me would be the only persons to know that.
I know
He's a
Gen
water
5
type
and
that shits
below.
himself.
Anything above, like Gen 5 and like.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. All three of us would be decent.
I know like 20 Pokemon because. Yeah.
You know Pikachu?
I know which Pokemon Cole would
Who?
be. Cole, I know.
I
which
know
Pokemon
that's a
you'd be.
joke, but that's the funniest shit I think I've ever heard you say.
Where's the owl?
Yeah, in that case, I think Cole would just be Hoot Hoot.
No, dog. He's Arceus, bro. That golden complex.
Don't stroke Cole's dick by making him Arceus. That's not
I don't want to be
fair.
Arceus. He's weird.
Cole would be a Diglett.
He's got the weirdest
What?
design.
Fuck you!
No, like the swole Diglett.
Not the
Swole
triple
one from
Diglett.
Alola.
Yeah, the little baby.
Oh, yeah, no, Cole,
Trio,
you
you
from Alola.
fucking
It's-
No. He'd be Execute.
Oh
I
my
wanna
god,
be
he
Dialga.
would.
The fucking eggs?
You wanna- Is it because he's blue?
No.
Yeah, I fucking knew it,
Fucking
Cole. You ain't
nerd.
slicked.
He's made of crystals.
This is you fucking naming the Spinebrook Mountains after Brokeback Mountain all over again. I'm still not letting you live that
Wait,
shit down.
Is that well?
Yes!
Yeah,
That's- we
I called him
addressed
out
this,
on it like 2
2 sessions
episodes
ago.
ago. And he was like, no.
No.
And I'm like, yeah, you fucking did.
They're named after the Brokeback Mountains because it's a lot of gay cowboys. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Alright, Alice, come back.
But my
It's been
TV.
it's been 5 minutes.
Let's come back.
Alice, come back.
I have
Actually
my
been
headphones on.
6.
Is it? Are you going to
Actually, it's been 6.
Fuck you, Aaron.
Do you need me there? My tea's almost done.
I don't need you here, but
Okay, go ahead.
so you feel, Bo, Iron Belt, that you created this ring. You brought it with you out of the dream.
Sorry, what?
What?
Me? I did this?
Are you asking me or your dead wife?
My dead wife.
What? I'm not sure. I suppose so.
How? You wouldn't know. None of us would know.
I have no idea.
Was it a bad thing to bring this with me then?
I don't think so. I mean, it allowed me to see what was going on until it came back.
Yeah. I mean, I'm here, so there's nothing to see. I guess. So.
Well, I guess I just have one more thing to say. So, one more time, Bo. And you watch as she kind of takes her ring and puts it back in your hand. What do you have to live for? And what are you going to be giving up to be with us?
I'd give up finding my daughter. Our daughter. Sorry, I'm not giving up my second chance to have a family. I'm giving up fixing my relationship with my brother and my mom. And my second family.
Well, time's come to decide. What are you gonna do? And you feel this rush of energy, this push of energy, as the wall itself melts away. You stand on a beach. This beach looks like the bank of the river in Solili, the one that you grew up near. The water laps at your ankles as you and her both stand in the sand. You know for a fact that if you walk and wade into the water, you will not move on. If you take her hand and walk with her, your soul will move on.
He looks towards the He looks towards the river.
Looking at the river, you see a reflection of yourself. And in that reflection, you see many things. You see you growing old with the rest of the storm. Bringing your daughter up as a family with Sybil and staying in Livlicur as a lord of the land. You see adventuring when you feel like and living. And then it gets dark and starts to fade as the water rushes away.
I look back to Darcy.
Looking back at Darcy, you now see her and your father. You watch as they extend their hands, or Darcy extends her hand, and you know that in taking that hand, there won't be another moment of strife, of trouble. You won't have to worry. You won't have to fight. You can be free. You flip a coin? DM it to me, please.
Alright. Alright.
So, as you tell Darcy and your father your decision, we're going to go over to Lothric, and I'm going to ask that Bo leaves the table.
Whispers.
Yeah, or you can sit in general if you want to.
Okay.
So, Lothric.
I feel my heart, my stomach.
Same, I do not feel good.
You don't know what he chose, but he's dead, so he can't be here.
Yup,
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Sad.
he's gone.
Lothric. A swirling gray void surrounds you. Rubble under feet with the rotting and dying corpse of two creatures and your friend. In front of you stands... Excuse me. In front of you stands a 7.5-foot tall creature. With a hand the size of your head extending it to you, you grab its hand. What do you say? And I'm going to be very punctual. Choose your next words wisely. Do you need time to think?
I've already thought of my answer.
Okay.
I'm gonna look up at this creature with tears going down my eyes. Help me save my friend, please. That's all I want.
Are you sure that's all you want to say to the demon? Like I said, very wisely here.
Oh fuck, I hate this. Why? Now you got me second guessing myself. Fucking hell. I'm sorry.
Take your time.
I'm gonna ask it to help me save my friend's life. And I can't even think. Fuck. I am so sorry. I'm taking too much time.
Oh, take your time. If you want more time to think, we can move on.
Yeah, give me more time, please.
Okay, of course. Magnus and Daenerys.
Yes.
You two are sitting at a table with Incy behind in her estate, and as you're sitting there, oh my god, is it? Why is it? Sorry, bot stuff.
Bot stuff.
I've been pressing stop this whole time, like I don't have a play button. What an idiot I am.
Oh no.
As you're sitting there and you're talking, the day begins to carry out over from midday to about afternoon. And as you're talking, all at once you hear like this scrambling. And you see like a lot of different people outside like beginning to move faster and work harder, getting stuff done quicker. And you hear even in the house people beginning to pick up pace, and you watch as Incy kind of like tightens a little bit, and she says, "Oh, Goth's gonna be home pretty soon. It seems like he was just spotted returning back."
Right. Well, thank you for your conversation, and if we ever have the pleasure of meeting again, remind me to play a song or two for you.
I will do that. While you're here, Garth's, like I said, gonna be a lot. If you want, I know that Amelia's around here somewhere, and my niece Crisp should be too. And I'm not sure where Scoria got off to, but she'll be around here as well. Scoria's my sister. Amelia is my sister-in-law. Garth's my brother, and then Pyre is our mother. But Pyre doesn't want to be seen right now.
All right. Will they all be attending this meeting, or will it just be us and Garth?
It will most likely just be you and Garth. If you stay for dinner, all of us but Pyre will be here.
All right.
Well, we might stay, we might not. Not sure yet. Pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. You watch as she kind of comes out of this fog. She gets up and straightens the chairs and walks out. And walks into probably the east wing of the building. As you two are standing there, is there anything you would like to talk about before Garth arrives?
Did Magma find anything in the parlor?
Magma has not come back to you.
Can I let out, like...
A spree?
No.
You're gonna go...
No, just... No, can I just, like, let out a small whistle for, like, him to come over? Just like
Yeah! He does not come running.
Oh, fuck! Ruh-roh, Raggy. Ooh.
Looks like we're gonna have to chat this very lately.
That was the plan anyways, but I guess our best bet is to make him feel like the smartest man in the room. So,
Right.
just be easy with our words, and is the parlor... I'm assuming that we're still in the dining room?
Yes.
Okay, and we can't see... Are there, like, doors, or is it like an archway?
There are... So, it's one large open doorway. No doors between you and the entryway. Looking out, you see the two kind of... what's the word?
Pillars?
Twin staircases coming down, and you see the large doors to the main entryway. On either side of you, there's probably a door that's like painted to blend into the rest of the room.
Okay. Can I, if I, like, quickly crane, can I see into the parlor where Magma was, or nah?
No, it's probably too far. You'd have to go into the main chamber.
Can I ring the bell again?
Ringing the bell will drop anything if Magma has it. It just resummons him.
Okay, then I'll just leave it be for now and trust that homie's not getting into too much mischief.
Okay.
Is there any way that I can, like, have a sense if he's, like, still around, or if he's, like...
I mean, no.
Okay. I didn't think so, I just had to ask. Yeah, I guess we'll just stand and wait and for Garth.
Okay. One of the servants comes up. This one is it's a halfling woman without ears. You see that her head has been her hair has been cut very, very short. And she comes up and she kind of just like hobbles up and gives a slight bow and then extends basically this towel to you.
Daenerys will take it ever so gently.
And you hear in a raspy voice, it almost sounds like her throat has been, like, snapped and then put back into place. Like, it's like, really, it's like...
Gift from the lady of the house, should you choose to stay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She gives another curt, like, bow and then hobbles away to the side of the door where she grabs the door and you hear, not like a word, you just hear like a from outside, and you watch as she opens the door, and walking up, you see a short, fat man, a little fucking guy in the form of a genasi. He's about average height, shorter than you, Magnus, for sure. And looking at him, you can tell the clothes he... Actually, roll me a fancy boy perception check.
Fancy boy perception check!
And Daenerys, why don't you roll me a princess perception check as well?
Let's go. Let's go.
It's a 20, just a 20. Dirty 20.
Sorry, I have to get to my character sheet. A 22. Dirty.
20 and a 22. You can tell, Magnus, with your eyes, and Daenerys, with your sense of money, he wears only the most expensive things he can get his hands on, even if it's not good looking. Right now, he is wearing, what is he wearing? He is currently wearing, a coal black suit with a bright, like, almost lime green undershirt. And he has 2 necklaces, 3 bracelets, and 11 rings. And he is waddling up, and as he approaches the door, one of his servants comes up and like starts to take the coat off him, and he says, "Pull off me!" And he like continues on a little bit as the door closes behind him. He like looks around and he says, "Where are the guests?"
We would be waiting in here, Your Highness.
Roll a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Shit.
Persuasion check?
Persuasion check.
What even is my persuasion modifier? I have no idea. It's plus 0. It's 11.
11.
Fuck!
Okay. He says, "Right, okay." And he kind of starts walking over. And you watch as he stops, like dead. And he looks at the floor. And he, following his gaze, there is a splotch of, like, something. The floor hasn't been polished enough. And he says, do I have their name? He says, "Karine, get your skinny hide in here." And you watch as the same woman that gave you the towel and opened the door for him kind of like hobbles up to him. And he looks at her and he goes, "Does that look clean to you?" And he grabs her by the neck and shoves her down to the floor, her face a couple of inches off the floor, and he goes, "Hey!" And he lets go of her and he starts walking over and he says, "Sorry. I didn't mean to have such a filthy, pissant servant. But it'll be alright, and I'll get that cleaned up in a jiffy for you, Your Highness." And he does like a very stiff bow.
The nurse will bow back. It's no problem.
Magnus will do like an also stiff bow. We appreciate you taking the time to see us today, Lord Emberhide.
Well, I am a busy man, but I suppose I can make exceptions for when royalty is in town. How was the flight over? I've heard that you took a magnificent airship, and before you continue, I would like to ask, would I be able to purchase one from the Floating Isles?
Perhaps. The projects that create our floating ships take quite some time, but I'm sure if I pulled enough strings, you could purchase one.
I will keep that in mind, thank you.
The flight was quite pleasant. Our floating ships are designed so to not have any rough winds affect the line of sailing?
Gotta look what he do. Okay. Now, I gotta say, when I first heard about you being an Aarakocran, I did indeed think that you would be uglier than sin, but I'm glad to see that I am mostly wrong. And for Magnus, he kind of says with a question mark, like he doesn't really know your name.
Santori, sir.
Santori, a pleasure to have you in the estate. Tell me, and he's gonna do something. You said you were from Ashmore. Do you know or have any connections to the Odiamadius estate? I've been trying to get in contact with them for a while now.
Not currently, no. Though I'm sure I
Roll a
can
deception check.
push a few letters through if need be. Ooh. 24? 18 plus 6?
Yeah, 24.
Okay, thank you.
Well, it be nobility and such, I shall see to it that you will be sent on your way with a few letters. Now, you've come to be on the king's behalf, and I must say I do appreciate that. The king and I do not really get along. And at that moment, Magnus, you
Oh shit!
here,
Damn it!
you hear, "Hi, Magnus. Just got word that you're meeting with the Emberhides on our behalf. Father is upset, but he'll come down. Tell Lothric hi."
Okay, so what was the last thing that Garth said to us about the letters?
He said he'll make sure to send you on your way with a couple letters to the Oni Matius, and that he appreciates you meeting on the king's behalf because the king and him don't really get along.
Of course. I will see to it that everything will be seen through with good graces.
You got more if you want to use it.
No, I know, I can't think of anything else to I'm trying to wait out the rest of her spell so that I can continue speaking to this dude without arousing any kind of magic-y stuff.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. So, waiting it out, he says that, do you want to say anything back to Neris or Magnus?
Waiting it out, the spell is over now, it won't pick up any other words that I...
Yeah, it won't pick up any other words.
Alright. Well, knowing you are a man of business, I assume you would like to get this meeting underway?
Yes, well, I do have to relieve myself before we undergo such proceedings, but feel free to sit in my living room, one of them, the closest one you can find, and I will find you.
Much appreciated.
Oh, and if you do see Amelia anywhere, I bid you not to talk to her. That woman's under us, if you understand what I mean.
Ah, well.
Right.
We will see you in a parlor then.
See you there. And it turns around and he walks away, and as he's walking away, he kicks the servant that is on the floor cleaning the splotch.
stone-faced fucking, like, turns. He's gonna go... He said the closest parlor, and that would be the one that I
Closest
sent
one.
Magnus,
Yes.
Magma into? Magnus.
Yeah, that is correct. The one I sent Magnus into, the one I sent me into, you know.
And Daenerys will follow, just like looking through the various objects that are present in his living room.
So this living room is decorated strangely. There are a few couches, but they're like from different sets, almost. One of them is like bright white. Excuse me. And it has this gold backing along the top and the hands, the arms of the couch. The other one is this deep purple, almost suede velvet, lining it. Everything else in here are animal rugs and animal heads that have been mounted from being hunted. Most likely within this area, where they don't fight back or run.
So there's not, like, any, like, predator heads? They're mostly, like, prey animals?
Oh, there are predator heads.
Oh!
Everything in the Centrum is a mix of all of them. They're like dangerous predators. There's like wolves.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
they're
about the
all,
fucking...
like,
I
fine.
forgot about the spell thing. Is there... You said there's multiple couches in there. Is there one that looks
Yes.
more illustrious than the others? Or is there, like, an armchair, or...
There's an armchair, yeah, it's made out of like a leather that you don't know what kind of animal it came from. The most illustrious one would probably be the gold and white couch.
Okay, Magnus will probably take the, You said the purple, like, suede couch?
Yeah, velvet. Suede
yeah, the
velvet,
purple
yeah.
velvet. Okay. Magnus will
I don't
take...
know if that's right. Is suede and velvet correct?
I
I
don't
think so.
I don't like velvet. I don't know much about it. But maybe. But Magnus will take that one. Is Magma in here at all?
Magma is not in here. No.
Oh, fuck. Where's that little
Looking
bastard?
around, the adjacent door to this room is cracked slightly open.
Can I, before I sit down, can I, can I just, like, glance through the crack and then sit down?
Sure.
Just, like, make my way around whatever table and just, like...
Yeah, give me a
A
perception check.
I'm gonna use a lucky roll. That, I'm fucking... I'm gonna die. 23. And then I have to mark off a lucky point. Oh, bye guys.
What'd you say?
A 23, and then I'm marking off a lucky point.
No, I was talking to Zoe because she just went,
Oh.
I don't remember something on the lines of, that's not fucking bad.
The look he fucking gave was terrifying.
23. You see Magma, like, full arch back, like, fight or flight mode slinking around the side of the room that you can see.
Oh, shit. Is he going away or coming towards?
He's going away.
Okay. And I can't see anything else in that room?
Not through that crack, no.
And there's nothing in his mouth at all, but he's like full,
He,
like...
he has something in his mouth. You can't tell what it is.
Okay, we're gonna leave it cracked. And we're gonna sit down and ignore it.
Okay. For sure.
Can I... Ooh, I know we said, but just for shits and gigs, is there any way that I can minor illusion the door appearing to be closed at all, or...
You can try.
I would like to.
So, casting a minor illusion, the spell fails immediately.
I thought so. I figured. Okay, Magnus is gonna position himself, like, facing away from the door and, like, towards whatever armchair or whatever thing. Like, I guess.
Okay, for sure. Tanaris, where are you sitting, lovely lady of the House of Dorathian of the Floating Isles?
Daenerys isn't sitting yet. She's like looking at all of the animals that are presented around the room. Like she's just very observantly.
You're not going
Taking
to
in-
describe them, are you?
No, I'm not.
Thank God.
But she's like going one by one and just like observing.
Yeah, there's quite a list here. There's quite a large variety of like predators and prey, what have you. Some of them have horns. Some of them are like Lothric's axe-bladed rhino. Strange creatures for sure. That being said, you hear, all right, let's get going. And as we do that, we're going to go back over to Lothric. We skipped him. Okay, fine. We can go to Rue if he wants it.
No, I'm
Are
Are
you
you
ready?
fine with that, Zoe? Okay.
I mean, if Zoe's fine with it.
She's
I'm fine.
with it.
If you have an answer, then go for it.
All right. So, Lothric, you stand atop rubble, and you are about to shake hands with a creature.
Okay. So, like I said, I'm gonna look this creature in the eyes, with the tears rolling down mine. Bring my friend back, and any soul that I defeat in battle, you can have this payment. Fuck is this?
That's really fucking cool.
Uh,
I think you just loopholed it.
Ooh!
ooh.
So cool! Look at him! That's so cool!
Okay. I didn't think that was gonna happen. We're gonna take a 10-minute break.
Oh, fuck!
Oh, fucking Christ!
Holy shit, dude!
That's sick as fuck.
Cade!
Sorry, what?
Sorry, it's just I was not expecting that. I have to look up a couple rules really quick.
Austin just said the most crazy shit!
It was really fucking cool.
I've been playing Folsom Prison Blues this whole time.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Dead some prison blues.
Find this moment.
Nah.
You want... No,
I
you
don't
wanna know
want my
the absolutely
kids sucked
great
out of
thing?
me. What the fuck?
I'll suck
Stop!
your kids out of you.
Oh no.
Okay, I don't need to write a formal
Welcome
written
back.
apology anymore.
I hate it here.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the handshake deal heavy world of Aracretia. Last we left off, Lothric, you stood surrounded by rubble and a grey void. A creature that you have neither the mind nor the heart to understand stood before you. And you asked it, bring my friend back to life, and I will give you every soul I defeat on the battlefield. You watch as the creature's eyes, normally black, grow with hunger. The blood flowing down its chin mixes with saliva as it imagines the taste of every soul you defeat. Its hand awaits for you to grab it and shake, as it says,
It will be done.
I will reach out and grasp the hand.
Your hand, Lothric Wilhelm, begins to glow. Much like it does when you smite an enemy, call upon your god's strength. It glows a bright, radiant white. You feel a searing heat run down the length of your forearm, and you look down and see that the creature is drawing its claw all the way down to the base of your wrist. Your blood begins to flow out, and as you shake its hand, the radiant light begins to turn a dark blood red. You feel pressure. And you feel empty and cold. As you break your oath to your god. You've helped a creature that has stood in your way. Helped a creature that was at the whim of someone that has harmed you and a friend. And you've taken a new oath. As you shake this creature's hand, you feel your oath of vengeance turn more sour, more bitter, less pure. Your oath under this creature. You will never be rid of it. Unless you seek retribution from a god that loved you, from a god that favored you. It grows quiet, cold, empty. And almost all at once, a bright, blinding light flashes in your vision. Bo, have you answered my question?
Your question?
Yeah, I just saw your DM. As you tell Darcy that you choose to stay in the overworld, you feel your soul get grabbed. You feel the very thing that binds you to your body and to the earth reconnect. As you awaken, surrounded by rubble and a starlit sky. Rue.
I look over. Ah, fuck you!
I love you. It was up to a dice roll if Emir considered it breaking your oath. And unfortunately, the dice roll was too high. That being said, Rue,
Yeah.
you are walking with Greaves, and you are in Gold Test. The day is still morning-ish. We're gonna see who gets there first. Why don't you roll me an investigation check if you want to ask around?
I would love to ask around. Let's see if I can fucking get there.
I like that Alice only ever listens to me.
That's a nat 20.
You motherfucker!
You got a natural 20. Awesome.
Wait, who gets? What do you mean? Who gets there first? What did you mean? Who gets there first?
You ask around and you find a butcher putting his clothes on on the side of a street, trying to put on his clothing underneath his butcher's gown, basically. As he's kind of fat, balding. It's a human, and he's like, "No, damn kids, finally got my damn clothes back, but I know they took some." As you approach him.
God, it's you. Hello, sir. I'm so sorry to bother you. You seem to be a little frustrated, but if I could just have a moment of your time, I'm looking for something.
What can I help you with?
I'm looking for a building of sorts. I don't remember the exact name, but my friends are on their way. We're on the way there. I know it's like the demons devil's cutlery. I know it's here in Gold Test.
Gold Test, devil's cutlery, no idea.
No idea. Okay, let's try this instead. Did you happen to see everyone in here looks like Bo. Have you seen a very large as in tall, man with blonde hair, armor?
A spooky glowing on his head and came went about north and went south a little bit north. Passed by him a couple times and my goddamn clothes got stolen by a couple of kids. Passed by him again, trying to harm my brother and he was chasing kids.
That dude fucking king of the hill.
I hate that I've seen so much of that I understood what the fuck you said. Yes!
That's what he said, and I hate it.
I can do Michael Byers shit. I can't do this. I'm so sorry. I'm not quite from here. Can you repeat that to me one more time?
Long spooky eyes, something going on in the summer, so I'm passing public time. Walking around, right before I got my clothes on, and damn kid chasing them, butting and passed by him again, trying to hound my name, and the kid got my clothes back.
It's fucking nothing until I got my clothes back at the end.
Go back.
I'm gonna look like desperately over to Greaves.
Greaves shrugs. I mean, he said that he saw a guy with spooky eyes that matches the description that worked north and south and passed by a couple times and then circled back around. You know, he was trying to hide his nakedness, which, sir, I'm sorry, that's terrible that happened to you. Those damn kids. And then he got his clothes back.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad to hear about that. That would be awkward if, that didn't happen. Could you maybe point me in the direction that you saw the tall, spooky eyes man? In the general area?
Hey, 1 second. He gets up, and luckily his dick doesn't flop out.
Thank Christ.
And he points in a direction. He says, 2 miles down the road, take a left, take a right, and take another left, and somewhere around there, I saw him.
Take a left, take a right, another left. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
He's very say, I gotta get him food and go on back and butcher some meat up.
Greaves.
Yep, I got it. And he takes out 2 gold pieces and just hands it to him and starts walking.
What did he say?
He said, could you spare a coin or 2? I have to get new clothes and go back and get some meat so I can start butchering and make a profit.
Oh, okay. Great. Okay. Then I'm gonna start heading off in that direction that he pointed, that he kind of gestured over to. 2 miles down the road, take a left, then a right, and then a left.
Why don't you roll me? Are you gonna ask around again, or what are you doing?
I think I'm gonna keep going kind of where he pointed us to. At least for a little bit.
Roll me an investigation check.
Oh, baby. I'm going to use my luck roll for the session.
Alright, so as you're walking and investigating, the sun begins to dip over the horizon and dip into night as you're investigating.
Okay, 17?
17, awesome. As the sun begins to go down, Greaves takes out a torch and lights it. And at that moment, we're going to go over to Daenerys and Magnus.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
I think, right? Was that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit.
So, Garth, what was his fucking voice?
He sounded like the outlaw in Home on the Range. Do you know who I'm talking about? The dude that yodels. He has a whole song.
It sounds like he's southern and gritty.
He
but
sounds like
he
Yosemite
always has
Sam,
his
but like
jaw clenched.
fatter.
He always has his jaw clenched.
Yeah.
That's what he sounds like.
You're sailing, going down and hitting like this with a sailing accent. Okay.
Yeah.
Jolene.
Garth comes in, he says, right, let's get this meeting underway. And he sits down in the most illustrious chair and he says, right, so on behalf of the King of Livliker, I remember now, what do you want to discuss?
Well, as I'm sure you know, Livliker has been having a few issues regarding, a few problems that have been popping up regarding these monster-type things that have been stealing away people and nobles alike.
Yeah, I heard something or another about that. It didn't really sound concerning to me.
Well, it becomes a concern whenever an entire city's population dwindles to nearly half in only a few weeks.
So, you watch his eyes kind of go a little bit wide and he says, yeah, that does sound rather intense.
And from what we've seen in our travels, we have reason to suspect that it could also be spreading here to Salili. So, we've humbly come to give you warning, as well to ask your aid in the upcoming Akala.
I'm not too fond of the Akalas. Too many people that think they're better than me. But
True.
you see him going through his head, doing the math. If that were to happen here, it would dig into our trade. Would it not?
Daenerys is still like looking at the animals, and so when he says that, he kind of like turns and steps on over. So, Your Highness, I would find it in your best interest to support us in getting rid of this threat, considering the nature of your business. These creatures are merciless, and they kill. With populations falling so drastically, there's no doubt that your trade will be hurt by this.
And what evidence do you have to support the fact that it's coming here?
Well,
And as he says that, before you begin, he goes,
sorry.
"Look, I'm thirsty." And he looks back at you.
Well, on our way through, we stopped through... Was it Yalala, or was it one of the towns previously? Oh, no, we stopped in Nawadu. Yalala was the Chupacabra.
Was the empty town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on our way through, we stopped in Nawadu for a few days. And we did actually run into some of The people we believe to be responsible for these
Really?
occurrences. The same organization that happened to attack us on the road and have the same characteristics as these.
Now, I did hear something about an attack, an assassination attempt. You were there for that?
I'm afraid I'm not sure which situation you're referring to. But yes.
Oh. More than one, I suppose. You watch as he kind of extends his hand, expectantly, waiting for something. And when it doesn't come, he goes, Lila! And very quickly, you watch as another small, this time it's a dwarven woman, but very thin. Like, not normally like dwarven women. This one's like not starving, but kept close to, as she kind of hobbles in with a drink, very shakily gives it to him. He says, "Piss off now." And he takes a sip. If that's the case, if you have a name, I'd rather deal with the organization myself.
Well, and forgive me for being blunt and or misinformed with this information. We have heard a rumor that it could be an organization that you're working with. Perhaps the Ebony Syndicate?
He's gonna roll something. You say the Ebony Syndicate?
I'll wait. I'll let you do your roll first.
I did.
Okay. And yeah, I'm gonna say the Ebony Syndicate. Not like vicious or anything, just very like, oh,
So-
this is what I've heard. And as I do that, can I do a insight check on his reaction?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna die next session. Shit. 25.
25. He kind of like takes in what you said for a second, and he's like, "Now I don't believe I heard of a organization that we are undergoing with by that name." And with that role, you know he's being completely genuine.
Okay, cool. It was just something that we've heard on the road every now and not every now and again, just something we picked up around. But I'm glad to hear of it. However, we're not sure what they stem from or what their goal is, but we do know that whatever their goal is, it is spreading rather fast. And it can only leave us to worry for the Empire's safety in the future.
Empire. The only empire I care about is my own.
Exactly.
He watches, he finishes his drink and puts it on a side table, and he goes, "Ugh." And,
No.
Oh, go ahead.
Your Majesty, may I?
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay. 18 plus whatever my modifier is, which is
0.
perception?
Persuasion?
Oh, persuasion. 0.
You watch as you say, Your Highness again, or Your Majesty, whatever the fuck it was. He kind of like, the first time you said it, he was like, what the fuck? But now it's kind of growing on him. Please continue.
May I present a question? Do you know a fine gentleman by the name of Abe Gromore?
Abe Gromore. I can't say that. That is a slur.
Ah!
Sorry. The F slur came to my mind, and It's like it's in his character, but I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, no, don't
No.
do that.
Shit.
Now I do know a man of that name. Last time I saw him, I believe we had a bit of a disagreement. He was a spice trader, is that right?
Correct. His spice trade is no more. I believe back in Cobalt, the spice trade's been picked up by delegates of my own. But the organization that is working to create these creatures for destruction were responsible for the death of Abe Gromor.
Roll a deception check. Because you personally were responsible for the death of Abe Gromor.
Oops. Whoopsies.
That's a 19, baby.
Let's
Alright, fair
go.
enough. Now, Abe was a tough son of a bitch, even if he was gay. That being said, it is a shame to hear about. I would have loved to buy up that portion of his business if he were still alive. It's a damn shame about his, well, maybe not a shame about his husband, but either way. If that is the case, I know for a fact I do have more resources and persons at my disposal than Abe. But if I do this, I suppose I do get a better light upon my family's name.
Oops.
Well, we know what you want. Shall we move on to my side of the bargain?
Of course.
Indeed.
What will be your terms?
Very well. Let's say I do help you out with the occult, and I vouch for it. I convince 3 of the 13 table members to vouch with me. 2 of them won't vote. They'll be gone. That leaves 8. 8 more table members that your beloved king has to convince. And I'm sure he's already convinced the speaker and the Pearl Claim family and at least 2 others. That'll give you a majority. Once that majority comes through, I'm the last standing voice decreeing that we shall help live Liqueur. All of Saluli will be helping you. There are a couple things that I want. Firstly, of course, I want one of them flying animals you got over there. I want one of the big ones.
How large are you thinking?
Well, from what I've heard, you've got these ones that are the size of horses that you ride. Hippo somethings. I'd rather be interested in one of those.
Do you mean our Pegasus?
Pegasus don't exist.
Hippogriff?
Hippogriffs.
Oh. You mean our hippogriffs?
Yeah, that'd be the ones. One of those for myself, and maybe a second one. Or a real deadly creature you got that I can hunt.
That you want to hunt yourself?
Sorry?
That you want to hunt?
Yeah, so I can put it up on my wall.
Right. We do have lions with wings.
You got anything a bit more dangerous?
Cole, I know you told us not to ask, but what kind of animals does... Here, let me specify. Let me DM you real quick.
Just what are like the
What are the-
highest
yeah.
challenge ratings
What
that
are...
we see on his wall there?
yeah.
That's the biggest one.
2. Even. Not big. This guy doesn't hunt big creatures.
Okay.
Like bears, or lions, wolves, that kind of thing.
I need to look at mine.
No, nothing.
Do I know? I would know. What creatures on the Floating Isles are bigger than the lions? Oh dear DM.
Lions with wings are pretty fucking big, but there are the giant anaconda that are huge. They can eat, like they've been known to swallow islands sometimes. There are there's one you could suggest. It's you know the flamehawk form that you can take? So there are flamehawks, but like rock size.
Oh, so like gigantic.
Fucking huge, yeah. Those would be like CR 9 or 10.
It'll eat them. I'm not crunchy munchy.
Do you fancy fine feathers?
Well, that does sound a little interesting.
We have unique bird species in the Floating Isles. One's larger than I, one's quite massive, quite dangerous. So I could get my hands on one.
That'd be acceptable. Now, on to my second ask. Of course, since this is so important for the king and all his people, and for you, Daenerys, princess, should we have further dealings with y'all in the future, this ask is primarily to secure those relations. Of course, I would need one of your airships to visit your floating isles on occasion. And he kind of leans in a little bit. And I'm gonna scroll. I gotta scroll. 1 second. I gotta find which one it is. Goth Ember Hide.
Shit.
Now, kind of looks around, and you watch as he begins speaking. Lila walks in and grabs his cup and he says, "Let's get the hell out of here!" And he kind of like shoves her back as she kind of stumbles and just like scurries away. I don't know about no Ebony Syndicate, but I think one of my sisters might be dabbling in some unseemly business, even for a man of my reprieve. Last thing I ask, and this is partially from me to you, Magnus, since you seem so handy, find out which one and what they're doing. And if it's Amelia, let me know personally. For the others, well, tell one of my servants. They'll bring it to me.
Of course. Now may I ask, how would you per se expect me to go about finding such information?
I give you full reign to my home, and whatever. If you do, and we figure it out, we can go from there, but I'll give you an Emberhide emblem that will stay within Central. This will give you unlimited access to any and all amenities that we have in this wonderful part of Solili. Should you succeed, and should we continue relations from there, I'll let you keep the emblem so that you can use it wherever you go.
And is there any peculiar time limit that you're thinking on this, perhaps?
I'm a patient man, Magnus.
All right. And I noticed you do have a decently impressive shielding of magic around your estates, which I will say is rather impressive.
Thank you. We had it specifically configured by the Odiumarius family when we were still in contact. And it specifically and only allows certain spells to go under. It prevents the more magically inclined from breaking in, and we keep the others out.
If I'm to, find this information, is there any way that I could bypass it? Or find out what I can use to my advantage?
When they were building it, you see he begins to recollect. Them Odiumarius boys, when they came down, they had these runes on them. These runes allowed them to circumvent any magical fields they created, just in case they had messed it up. Can't be too smart, those boys, can they? But they still did it, and I sit here comfortably since. Now, I will say I'm not sure if any of them left any, but they'd be down in most likely one of the servant households. I would check the nicer ones.
Alright. And do I possibly know, oh dear DM, what the fuck he's talking about?
Roll a history check for me.
We'll use this one.
Important question.
Yes.
Does Daenerys have the Sending Stone for Varys, or does Mum and Dorathian?
Your mother
Excuse
has
me,
it. She
sorry.
took it from you.
Okay.
That'll be a... Shit, I just saw it, and I just did the math in my head.
Head math?
Head math. 23 DM.
23. You recollect loosely your father discussing with one of your help around the estate and the palace that there are these runes that like you use when you're building stuff, but that's about it.
Okay. Great. And he said servant households. Does he mean like the table households that are like below the Everhides, or does he mean like servant quarters?
The servant quarters, the other 12 building or 10-ish buildings in the semicircle on his estate grounds.
Okay. Okay. Sure. If I manage to find any sign of these runes on my whereabouts.
Now, I will say, if y'all stay for dinner, I would give it some space before undergoing such a prestigious investigation. We do tend to have quite wild parties, and it would be a shame if you went spelunking in places that weren't yet fit for such a thing.
Say it one more time. I'm so sorry. My brain cut out.
He said it would be a shame if you went spelunking in such a place that weren't quite ready for such a thing.
Of like investigating or...
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Tanaris.
Would you allow us to stay somewhere in your home until the time of your dinner, or would you rather us come back?
Well, it's fully up to you. I mean, what with our negotiations done and such, you can come back or you can investigate. Tonight amongst the dinner, we are set to have a feast, as is every night. But if it's not to your taste, I assume you can be sent back to wherever you are staying in this here fine city. And if I must say, if you are going to stay anywhere, I would try the Silken Threads. Wonderful place. The people there know me. If you mention my name, I'm sure they'll let you stay for a pretty penny. And furthermore, thank you for doing business and keeping your patience. If y'all should want a drink on your way out, if you do leave, just ask Lila. She'll be there in a jiffy. And if she's not, y'all let me know.
Oops. Thank you, Your Majesty. And she does like a curtsy.
He stands up and does a bow. So, we're going to go from y'all to Lothric and Bo. You okay, Alex?
Hi! I'm great.
Bo, you awaken looking up at a starry sky. At this current time, Magnus, Tanaris, Rue, and even Greaves, the sun has gone behind the horizon and the night has fully bloomed. Lothric, you stand amongst rubble as you hear shaky breaths being taken from your once dead friend. You two are free to do as you wish for a little while, and then we will do some stuff, and we'll see where to go from there.
Sorry. I'm going to immediately rush over to Bo's side and kneel next to him. Bo, are you okay?
I was in shock. He's just looking at the sky, he looks at you for a second, and then he just continues looking back at the stars.
He's gonna, like, every time I do it, it makes me laugh. He's gonna, like, snap his fingers in front of your eyes. Hey, pal, focus. Are you okay?
I don't know if I would necessarily know this from actually being pinned under the rubble, but I'm going to assume instinctively looks down to his right arm.
Your right arm can only be described as flat. And it sounds funny, but the bones have been shattered to a point of irreparability.
We need to get you to a healer.
And he looks like he's about to say something, stops, about to say something again, stops again. He just can't.
Lothric, what's your health right now?
27 hit points.
Sick. Just need to know for stuff. Please continue.
Oh, fuck. Can you stand?
But DM, I'm sorry, am I at 1 hit point?
You are at 1 hit point, and we are going to treat this like you just came back to life, because you did. We are going to go with the rolls of Raise Dead. You suffer a -4 to all of your ability checks and rolls until you take 4 long rests.
Austin, what did you say?
I asked Bo if he can stand.
He instinctually at first goes to lean on his right arm because he's right-handed. And with no leverage, he just falls with his face in the sand. He then tries to roll onto his knees and push with his left arm.
So, and trying to get to your feet is an ordeal. I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw. And as you're doing so, you realize that your left leg is broken.
Constitution saving throw?
Attempt to help him to his feet.
Yeah, he gives you the help action. You gain advantage.
Okay, I do have to ask something.
I don't know how this works anymore.
It's okay.
So while Bo is getting up, you said I get a -4 on every single saving throw and attack
Every
dice
roll.
So is that modifier or plus modifier then -4, or is that just
plus
raw
modifier
dice roll?
-4?
Okay. It's a natural one, so I'm not going with that. Okay, so
Lothric is helping you up.
1,
You gain advantage on it.
22.
Does he still get my
23,
+2 or
-4.
not anymore?
That's 19.
19. You manage not to pass out, but you can't stand without Lothric's help.
You see in Bo's eyes as he just looks at you, broken. He gives you like the most blank stare with tears like just going down his cheeks.
As you two stand up, cutting through the night, you see a light. Torchlight. Approaching you, and I love this game.
Shut the fuck up.
Then you see another one.
Fuck.
And another. Until you see 8 torches lit around you. Bo, the man that you saw in the alleyway steps out of the darkness. Well now, what have we here? You watch as his beard, thick and black, glistens. His face, strong and regal. You can see his features now. You are staring into the face what you can only presume to be a drow. He has many piercings lining his face. His cheekbones, his nose, his ears. His head is bald. Two members of the Band of the Wild Storm come crawling out of a collapsed building. One looks to be on his deathbed and the other, well, could be better. My name is Silas. And from here on out, I will be your guide to the city you call Yawthorn. I extend a helping hand if you'll only follow me. We've yet to get the rest of the band together. You two will be the first.
Lothic's gonna look over at Bo. What do we do?
Bo is shaking his head no in confusion. He does, like I said, he's still in shock. He doesn't know what to say.
I can answer for him. Silas takes another step towards you. His black and purple robe moving in the torchlight. You, Lothric, Wilhelm, and Bo Ironbelt are our esteemed guests. We will nurse you back to health if you'll only follow us.
And if we don't,
well, and you watch as he rolls his eyes, knowing that that would be your question. Then, your friend, one foot in the grave, and you, almost there as well, would have to undergo a fight with all of us, and I think we both know how that will go. We mean you no harm. We only want to discuss options with the five of you.
Lothric's gonna look back at Bo, and then at Silas. And instead of that sapphire blue lightning, that lightning is now a deep crimson red. And it sparks for just a minute. Alright. We'll go with you.
Wonderful.
Count on it. If you cross me or any of my friends, I will fucking kill you. I promise.
Oh, don't worry, dear boy. We've no such intention yet. You watch as the wall of torches spreads, and Silas says, "Come along. You don't want to be lost." And he steps back into the darkness.
Am I allowed to look for our weapons? 'Cause there's something cool I was gonna do. It wasn't like a fight or anything, but like...
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I look for my sword?
Your sword is right where you left it, and by that I mean it's pinned under some rubble.
I would like to lean bow against some of the rubble and go and reach for my sword.
So as you do that, you watch as two dudes dressed in the clothing that you've seen several times. First at the assassination attempt of the king, second in Nawadu. Two dudes come up and grab him gently and hold him up.
And I would like to reach for my sword.
You grab your sword. They don't do anything.
Okay, I'll take that.
Roll a
I was
strength check for me.
I was expecting something different. With modifier or just flat?
With modifier.
14.
14. You very easily Holding the blade in your hand combusts into flame. You are no longer righteous enough to wield Emir's sword.
Instead of dropping it, can I sheath it? Enduring
That's
the pain for that split second.
Fucking sick.
That's
Take
so
a D4
metal.
and gain inspiration.
Could you
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
imagine seeing these two motherfuckers, like, standing in rubble? Dude picks up a sword, it lights on fire, and he just fucking puts it away?
You said roll a d4 or take a d4 of damage?
Roll a D4, take the damage.
Oh shit, what was that? 2. And then I would like to find Bo's sword as well.
Bo's sword is right next to yours, most likely. It's about like 10 feet away, but you pick it up pretty easily.
Okay.
How
I'll-
bent out
I
of
will-
shape is this thing?
The swords were not harmed.
I will go ahead and carry Bo's sword and then take my position back with Bo's arm over mine,
They let
supporting
you.
him as we walk.
As you two walk into the darkness, Rue,
Oh, shit.
What's up, bitch?
what's up, bitches?
What's going on? What am I doing?
We're going shopping, bitches!
Kill something.
It takes you almost all night to find the place. You come upon the remains of a building, surrounded on either side by trees made of wood, or the building itself made of wood, in rubble. Complete rubble. This is the place Lothric described to you. A broken sign says the Demon's Ladle out front. There is no one to be found here.
Can I, like... She would think... Can I, like, look through the rubble, like, calling their name and seeing if, like, there's any response?
Roll an investigation check for me with disadvantage. Actually, you're an elf. Just make it flat.
Okay.
I forgot you had vision.
Yeah. It's a 9.
Graves will help you. Roll again.
Okay. That's another 9.
Nice, dude.
Neat.
Love how that happens.
You don't find anything physical, Alhart Ruesh. But you feel the presence of a fiend and just like the cave in Cobalt, you feel a deep sense of unease. And you immediately recognize the presence of Malachi.
Fuck. Just in the surrounding area?
Mm-hmm.
Can I use locate creature?
You have that spell?
Dude,
Yeah, I do.
that's so fucking impressive.
Hang on, I gotta see what it does first. 1 second.
Yeah, I got you. It's 5th level. Locate.
Okay, creature.
Yeah, it's detection.
It's familiar to sense a creature's location as long as the creature is within 1,000 feet of you. If the creature is moving in another direction of the movement, what are you? Who are you? Who?
Lothric.
Lothric?
Yeah.
He's not within 1,000 feet of you.
Fuck. Can I try Malachi?
He's not within 1,000 feet of you either.
Okay.
But I can know for sure that, say, with Lothric, that he wasn't under the rubble, or...
Yes, Lothric is not here. This doesn't pertain to them being dead, so, like, even if they're dead, you would find them.
Okay. Okay.
So, mark off 2 5th-level spells off your spell sheet, please.
Yeah, we'll do. Actually, 4th level. I'm so sorry. It's in my 4th level spot.
Gotcha.
I'll mark off 2 either way. I have the cats out. Still.
You do have the cats out, yes.
I don't suppose that I can look over to Azza and be like, Can you track where they went?
So, as you call your cats, they come out from different pieces of rubble, and looking at Azza. Did you ask if they can track where they went, Ryan?
Yeah.
No, I don't know about tracking there, sugar, but we sure can put our eyes to work.
If you can find them, or find a trace of them somewhere.
We'll let you know. And you watch this, I don't remember the other names. The Persian cat. The Persian cat goes, if I must, I will only look at the cleanest places. And the other one goes, yeah, and I'll only look at the dirtiest of places.
That's my boy,
Hey, is he Aussie now, please? It switches every time you
And
talk to him.
They just, like, shoot off into the darkness.
Fuck. Shit. Where could they have gone to?
Well, and this is just a thought. If they're not in the rubble, they survived one hell of a beating. I mean, this is... To bring a building down, that's like... Wow.
I'm surprised they're both walking. I hope they're walking.
They might be crawling. I don't see any crawling marks, but...
You'd think you'd see something, but... Can I see blood, like, on top of the rubble?
With an investigation of 9, no. That being said, if they survived, either they go home, they go to a healer, or they die along the way.
Okay. Where's the nearest healer?
Well, that's the problem. They're all in mid-ring, so they'd have to walk from Gold Test to where we entered mid-ring, which is halfway around the city.
I don't suppose... Same thing with an investigation of 9. I couldn't tell how long ago this happened, could I?
No.
God, fucking investigation of 9 sucks. Well... Fuck. So what do you suppose we do? Should we go... I want to say they'd go home, but I feel like... I don't know if they'd make it.
Why don't I go back? Have my people look for them. If they're in a gutter, dying, rotting somewhere, we'll find them easy. If they're at a healer, you gotta do that.
Okay. Where is there a checkpoint here in Gold Test that maybe they would go to first?
They would have to go through one of the gondolas. That'd be the only way to carry both of them through.
Okay. Then I'll check by the gondolas. There's guards at the gondolas that I can maybe see if they've seen them.
The nearest gondola would probably be. I don't have my map up. Give me just a second.
That's fine.
Yes. Do you have a question?
No, I'm talking to myself.
Oh. The nearest gondola would probably be out of Rodak. So, about halfway around the outer ring here.
Where can you repeat that one more time? I heard Roadback.
Rodak.
Rodak.
Roadback Steakhouse.
I know, I haven't changed it yet. I'm sorry. It's just the name I came up with, and I realized it the moment I said it.
It's okay, I can say it. Okay.
What the fuck?
Why?
Cause she's a queer.
Anyway, okay, perfect. Then I'll check there, see if they can, see if they've seen it. They've got to be hurt by that, so I can't imagine that they'd slip by. And I guess I can ask more people, however, that's not gone well both times that I've done it, so I'm not confident in that, but...
I trust you. You seem pretty charismatic. When you want to be.
Either way. Thank you. Please keep me updated.
I will.
Okay. And I guess I'm going to start road walking over to the gondola area.
Okay. Graves is going to go the opposite way. And you step into the darkness, and that is where we will end tonight's session. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, like it. Thank you. I love you. A lot of stuff happened this session, so
Smash that fucking like button.
Please,
smash that like button.
if you're watching
Like,
on
break your
YouTube,
computer.
subscribe. Don't do that, because then they can't watch more videos.
No, true. Bye stream.
Bye,
Bye.
Bye, stream.
Bye.
Bye stream.
Bye.